And good evening and welcome back for the second game of the night. Be exciting middle school football. Be the Vikings of Humboldt as the visitors. Their 7th and 8th grade team, and of course Jackson Christian's Eagles are also a 7th and 8th grade team. The coaches for the middle school Eagles are Adam Brower, head coach, Greg Armour, Chuck Ray, Chuck Cooper, and a new addition, formerly coached at Trenton Peabody, Todd Lumley, who also is an old broadcaster. Lawson man, Paul Schultze, Coach Joe Holloway. David Wade, our color man for the varsity games, will be here for the varsity game. We've got one more to go. We want to welcome all the audience on WNWS.com tonight. These games are normally archived, and I think this one tonight will be up for a little while also. Lawson, is that correct? Or is it just this one be up for a little while tonight? And may be left for a while. But when the varsity games start and we go to FACS next week to open up the season, looking forward to varsity action. I think the Eagles have a good team that can throw the football. And, of course, with Humboldt being the visitors, looks like the Eagles are going to play defense first. And we'll try to pick up some of these young men as we go. I see at a cornerback, Jack Collins wearing number 11. See a two-deep secondary, and again, we'll pick those numbers up. Big defensive end, Daniel Green, wearing 44 on the left side. Humboldt will either be in an I formation or a wishbone. This time they've got a pop back. There's Dave Wade right there. Dave, there's your headset. And they give off to a very quick tailback, but he runs into, I'm going to call him right now, Stonewall Daniel Green. And I got stuff all over the place, David. We had an exciting elementary game for an elementary game. Nothing, but the ball was moved a little bit. We had the running clock and just ran out of time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I just realized that my driver on the fire department, Jason Rowe, his son plays for the elementary. That's him right down there, but absolutely. Glad to be here.
Yeah,
glad
there we
to
go.
be here.
And we're testing our equipment out and want to give you the best broadcast. David knows so much about the rules. And, again, you've got what I call a pop-back type fullback, two-man backfield. And something they didn't tell us they're going to do, they have a split end to the left, but it's a pitch sweep. And I'm going to tell you what, Jackson Christian School has been in the backfield twice. That's Hardin Minot. And did you catch how quick he got in there, David?
I'll tell you what, he blew the gap on that left-hand side, and as they tried to sweep left, the pitch wasn't great, but the running back was trying to get the corner. And number 12, he popped in there, made a great tackle. Great tackle.
3rd down and 11 to go. The ball is on the Humboldt Viking 29-yard line. We'll be playing running clock first quarter. Great shot by Paul Schultze up there of the Vikings breaking the huddle. And you see that front of the Eagles, a lot of times they just go with 2. They're going with 3 down. Linebackers up in there close. The snap, handoff to the pop back. He's going to get about 6 yards. But again, David, several Eagles, and I didn't see who's on the bottom, but is that 2 or
31 and 24?
24, wow. 24, and we will get you a roster here in a second.
A lot of times.
You surprised me.
Yeah, a lot of times, right where he busted the gap the last time, well, now they run it right at it, which is a lot of times if they can get you from turning the corner, the best thing to do is to go right at that gap so that they can't shoot it, and you might get a block and a pretty good run right there.
It really was.
Down.
That 4th and 5, and bravery by the Vikings here. 7:50 to go with the running clock. Ball on the 35.
Looks
Tight
like
end.
a wishbone.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a wishbone. He's been lined up offset to it like a pop back. Pitch sweep to the tailback. Gets across. He'll have the first down. There's 2 tacklers. I know that one of the men was Eli Gay, but I'm sure you picked up the other gentleman.
I saw Eli get the hand on him, but he did fall forward, just edging the ball across the 40, and it'll be first down for the Vikings.
And that was Jonathan Mays running the football for the Vikings in their 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line. They just did get a first down, Dave. 2 sets of white hats and crews here tonight.
Yeah, they're getting their work in, and to make sure that they're getting a good dress rehearsal for tonight on the carpet, and I can see a whole bunch of them out there. I think I see Ray down there.
Yes. And there that time, rugby scrum, fumble on it, and looks like Humboldt fell on it, but it'll bring up second down no matter what.
Yeah, Hunter Waltrip got in there and absolutely busted that play up. I think the fumble happened, and as the center tried to retrieve the ball, Hunter Waltrip just gave him a pretty good pop.
You're right. 2nd and 11. Ball equidistance between the hash marks, and that's a good place to be, David. Big advantage for the offense. They can go either way with equidistance now.
Yeah, and Humboldt is going to try to get the corner. I mean, they've run that play 3 times since I've been here out of the last 5 that they've run with the pitch sweep. So, they may like it on the hash to try to get to the other side, but it definitely works in their favor for speed.
Well, they've got quickness in that backfield. And it is a wishbone. They got the fullbacks right, fumble, Dave. And this one's a foot race forward. Who wants it the most? And the young man from Humboldt picked it up. But dangerous way to do it. You better fall on that football.
Yeah, that you don't pick that ball up and try to make something out of it. That could have very easily him overrun that ball. And he was the only one back there with about 3 blue jerseys. They pick it up. They could very easily be in the end zone right now. Yeah, you just you fall on that ball, take your medicine, and run another play.
Absolutely. Now that's going to bring up 3rd down and a $2 cab ride. It may be with inflation, $5 cab ride. It's 23 yards to the best. My math wasn't very good, David, but it looks like it's 3rd and 23 on the Viking 27. Linebackers step up in there. Let's see if they're coming. Sprint right. It's the quarterback on the keeper. He slips, and now a host of Eagles, or a flock of Eagles, whichever one you want to say, put him down.
Yeah, absolutely. He tried to put that in, and cut back against the grain, but there was no doing. The backside pursuit was great, and everything worked well. Great job by the now this is the middle Eagles, right?
Yes, this is middle school Eagles, 7th and 8th graders, and we'll change and send some new men. That was McCurry running the football, and I think something they do, not only are they changing the football into the field, but they take a little extra time, and with the heat, we had a heat delay, Dave.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
It was 112 degrees on the turf.
Whew. That's going to be a problem here. I mean, obviously the turf is a great asset to have, but unlike grass and a natural field, boy, that sun will absorb in there, and it will be. I used to remember them talking about Neyland Stadium when they had that bad turf down there. That
man.
It was 20 to 25 degrees hotter on that turf than it is on regular grass.
Well, here come the Eagles with Austin Kelly at quarterback tonight. We won't be seeing Nathan Britt. He's injured. First play, and it started out nice, but the Vikings put that bonnet on that football, and let's see who recovered it, Dave.
Carson Holt.
I think JCS got back on it.
Yeah, they did. Carson Holt just absolutely ran by. And once again, the Vikings tried to pick the ball up and advance it. When they fall on it, they would have the ball at the 30-yard line. It was a good pitch. I think the running back just took his eyes off the ball.
He did. Jalen Mosley was the runner then. So loss of 1, 2nd and 11 from the 29. Linebackers up tight. Here's the snap. Smooth handoff, trying to skirt the left end, but again, backside penetration linebacker for Humboldt. He didn't make the tackle, but he got in there, number 2, and I believe that's the also young man that plays running back, Jonathan Mays.
Oh,
Mays turned it in, and then I believe that was McDonald. You're right about McDonald on the carry. So a pickup, though, of 2, and that brings up 3rd and 9.
It's just common knowledge that first of the year Jamborees, the offensive just haven't gotten it clicking yet.
Yeah, just 2 down linemen, linebackers trying to shoot the gap. They pick it up, and McDonald gets around the left end. He's going to be thrown out of bounds. It'll be short of the first down, but it looks like he made the 37.5, maybe the 38. Good efficiency, but I always watch the referees to see how they handle the football, David.
Yes, absolutely, and I'm looking at him right now. That's Marty Clements in the white hat. That's Mr. Eubanks. That is the back judge. I cannot find the side guys. I just can't see them. My eyes are not that good. But yes, if they can rocket the ball and handle the ball, you usually have a very, very tight game.
4th and 4. Here's the snap, dropping back. Pass, and it's short and picked off by the Vikings. And picking it off, we'll pick up number 11's number, and let's get those tacklers. I know that Mosley is one of the tacklers, but for the Vikings, number 11, and their roster's not in order, is Kanan Pettigrew, and I haven't had time to memorize it.
Absolutely. Austin Kelly made a good play to come in and halt him at the 22-yard line, but not quite the pass that you would want. I don't know if his hand was hit or the ball just kind of slipped, but it was a little wounded duck right to Humboldt, and they've got a chance to make some damage here.
Now, David Wade is here, our color man for the varsity games. He's pitching in tonight along with Lawson Mann, Paul Schulze, Coach Joe Holloway. You're listening to WNWS.com, watching exciting middle school football from the Jackson Eagles and Jackson Christian Eagles. Let me get that in there right. Very quickly, let's see, while we're going to have a little time. David wearing number 11, Jack Collins. We want to try to get some of these kids in. And we know that 44 is the big defensive end, Daniel Green, who's had a good night. 56 is Hunter Waldrop, wearing 24, Carson Holt. I know that out on the field he plays linebacker Blake Rowland, who was actually on the cheap seats one night with us. And he and his cousin who plays basketball out here was or actually it wasn't Blake, it was his brother Lance that was on the cheap seats. Okay. Blake's in middle school, Lance plays on the high school. We'll get some more of the young men. But here comes, and Humboldt's wishbone looks a lot better now. The fullback was lined up wrong a while ago.
Way too close.
Yeah, and now it looks like something they can handle. And if they're going to give to the fullback, he got through. Now, that's close on those head tackles like that, David. Sometimes when you have give a little discretion on that.
Well, Carson Holt, he actually got him up around the shoulder pads and brought him down. Now, I'm going to tell you, he's as he gets older, he's going to learn that if he does that to the wrong running back, he's going to have the damage done to him. Because when they get behind the pads and run, you definitely don't want to get him that high.
Now you know why I've got the best color man in the business right here. And our comrades at arms, y'all just don't know. Dan and Seabass, watch out. We're teasing our friends. But back in the wishbone is Humboldt. 2nd and 5, ball on the Jackson Christian 17. Snap, pitch, sweep right. And I've had good penetration by Green, and now he gets up. It looks like Holt came and helped. And a flock, whole bunch of Eagles got there.
Well, a little crossbuck action by the Vikings, and it looked like that it had broke, that the hole was there. But like you said, Daniel Green did a great job of getting a hand and turning him back inside and getting him to slow down just enough. And the backside pursuit again. You got to hand it to the middle school Eagles. They are pursuing the football.
They are really doing a good job. And they also, what I watched, if you go back and look at our film, great shot again of the scoreboard. 39 seconds left in the first quarter. Again, running clock, 39, ball on the 21, no score between the Vikings and Jackson Christian. Again with the wishbone, split in left. Humboldt quarterback, number 12, and that is Justin Gaines, looks around. They've been their bugaboo all night. It's the exchange. It was in the middle school game, David.
It is, and we got a flag on the play. I think we've got a false start that's going to be against Humboldt to boot. So, I probably would say that this would be a snap infraction.
And Dave, interesting call. Which one would you take the infraction or you take the down?
It actually is a dead ball foul because the ball hadn't been snapped, so there is no choice. You have to take the 5.
Okay. I told you, gang, you're going to enjoy this if you're watching. And varsity fans, stay tuned. We'll have the varsity game after a delay. It's now 3rd and 14, ball on the Jackson Christian School 26. Clock arrested at 16.8 seconds. The snap, the pitch. Trying to sweep left. Let's see, he cannot get the corner. Somebody set the corner, but now he juked him and got a little yardage out of it. But David will be 4th down after a nice gain of about 7 yards.
Yeah, Jack Collins fought the block off very, very well, and he did turn it back inside like it was. And that play, if it gets outside, he's probably maybe they catch him at the 10. But Jack Collins did a great job. Turn that play back inside, run him into your defense that's pursuing. They were behind the chains. Now you got 4th down, looking at 4th down and 8. Now it comes down to the time that you got to bow it up right here.
You use your speed, or do you throw the football now?
Well, I'm going to tell you, 12 looks good. He looks good. He's a great player off the bus. That you would say as the clock's going to run out here, but. The sweep's obviously not working. The crossbuck had a chance until he turned it in. I would probably go back, and this defense, I would run maybe a little misdirection, try to catch them in pursuit, cut it back against the grain, and let your speed take over there.
Of course, the clock will have at least a minute, and a while ago they were giving them 2 minutes in between. Dave, what's the official time on between quarters?
In between quarters, you'll have 60 seconds, and as soon as that is done, the back judge has a has a timer on his belt, and actually a lot of the play clocks will have 40 seconds, and they will also have 60.
60.
And they'll, during timeouts and other things, they'll set it on 60 and they'll pop it and you can watch it. But the regular timeouts will be 60 seconds. They will actually blow the whistle at 45, and that's 15 seconds to where they want you to come on, get ready, because on that 0 mark, they want to be able to blow the play live.
Let's talk about what happened. Let's say we're not changing ends tonight because of the situation. We may in the varsity game, but there's only 2 quarters. But let's say that Humboldt's got the football here. Obviously, for the second quarter, we would change in a regular game. When does the 60 seconds start?
The 60 seconds would start as soon as the white hat at that point, the clock goes dead, and he blows it dead, and he gives the signal as both hands out that says that quarter has ended. Right then it starts. And I'll tell you, it was a big emphasis by the National Federation that you only use that 60 seconds timeout. You only use 60 seconds in between. They want these games to speed up. They don't want any more. And I'll promise you, when the big supervisors are out watching you and you're getting selected to go on into playoffs and even further, that's one of the things is they've got a stopwatch. They'll pop you on it and they'll talk to you about it.
And they should. I think it's good. It's 4th and a long 8. Humboldt has the football on the 20-yard line of the Jackson Christian Eagles. Eagles want to hold right here. They took a chance, and you do that in these scrimmage-type games. You've got nothing to lose, and the score of the games are really irrelevant. You want to hit people. You want to practice your tackling. You write down the mistakes. You write down the good points. Now, they've changed quarterbacks and gone back to McCurry. McCurry's pitch was high, bouncing around, and the runner never had a chance because you know who's there. Mr. Green is there.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is something that I'm sure that the quarterback will learn. I mean, you can't just turn and pitch. The first thing that when you take that snap and that ball hits your hands, your head has to turn. You've got to see where you're pitching the ball before you turn, because if you're doing everything in one and that running back is not where you think he's supposed to be, you have just absolutely committed yourself, and now you're trying to change it, and you end up with a high pitch like that, and there's nothing the running back can do with that.
Absolutely right. Ball goes over on downs. It's 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line for Jackson Christian School. And let's see what we've got. They're running a little bit tighter set. 3 men in a line over there. One back, jet sweep coming up, and it's given to Mosley. He breaks a tackle, gets around the right side. He jukes the cornerback, and he's got a first down. David, a great run by Mosley.
Yes, Mosley hit the hole right there on the jet sweep. Great pitch on it. They actually caught the linebacker in a blitz, and it was a good job by the quarterback to let him clear before he got the jet sweep going, found his crease. Hey, first down, the Eagles.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Eagles, and they want to move the football. You'll see the middle school Eagles run the ball a little more than you do the high school team's going to put the thing up in the air. High school game to come after this. Of course, the middle school plays August 20th against West Bemis right here at home at 7 o'clock. And again, scurrying to get over to the other side is the wideout, and that is Aiden Bird. Here's the snap. They fake the jet sweep, and we're going to run the crossbuck, David, and unfortunately everybody made it to football, including Humboldt.
Yeah, that didn't fool anybody. And I'm going to tell you, right now it doesn't look like Humboldt is just absolutely blasting off the ball. And when you're slow off the ball, which could be the plan of the defense, they've got 2 real big guys up front. Misdirection doesn't work very good when that happens because you're not fooling anybody, and they're still standing there when you come back the other direction.
Loss of 2 yards, 2nd and 12. David, absolutely right. Dave and I both have played on teams that ran misdirection, and the worst thing that happened to you is a team that doesn't react.
Well, I couldn't throw the ball as a quarterback in middle school. I ran the wishbone. So
here are the Eagles, 2 men in the backfield. The give to Mosley. He tries the right side. He gets some of that yardage back, and with a second burst, he gets across and picks up about 3 extra yards, David. And I think that was really great by Jalen Mosley.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, number 70 for Humboldt, absolutely. That's Steven Chivers. He is blowing through that gap. They're going to have to do something to slow him down because he has almost disrupted 2 of those jet sweeps.
Let me see if I can find you a Humboldt roster. There's your Humboldt roster. I'm almost sure, isn't it? Nope, that's Daniel Brooks. Let's put that one between us.
That'll work.
We want to thank Shane Cisco because he had to do some tap dancing. And Coach Ballard took care of us in the high school game from Humboldt. There's penetration backfield, and Mosley keeps his balance. He's going to lose yardage, but David, a great run by Mosley, even though there's about 3 guys on there, including number 11 that we called his number earlier, Kanan Pettigrew, is one of the tacklers for Humboldt.
Moser got about 2 yards better than it should have been. He should have been tackled for about a 7-yard loss. Direct snap right there. So
yeah.
I mean,
they'll get in the Wildcat.
Yeah, they are showing a lot of the different offenses that they'll run. Usually you stay vanilla in the Jamboree, but hey, this is middle school. You got to get that offense working.
That's right. I love it. And looks like Coach Adam Brower is going to go for it on 4th down. It's 4th and 11. Now let me tell you something. They could be setting them up because Mosley is left-handed and he can throw the football if he gets it in the Wildcat. So watch for that.
I'll tell you, you gotta hope that the coach, and both coaches are in the huddles right now. They're obviously on the fields during the Jamboree. You got to tell your defensive backs right here, nobody gets behind you. Anybody that split out, you're obviously going one-on-one. I don't think that you would run a zone right here. You just got to make sure nobody gets behind you. You know that 9 is going to touch the ball right here. Mosley is going to touch the ball in somewhere. So your linebackers have got a key on him. If they run some kind of misdirection to somebody else, hey, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but you cannot let 9 do it right here if you're Humboldt.
Now, let's see if there's a change in strategy after talking it over. Let's see who the rest of the crew.
They are going to take a punt.
Yeah, they are. Very quickly, the cheerleaders for the middle school working hard down there. Kenzie Cooper, Melanie Sadler, Michaela Robinson, Abigail Melton. And before I may mess a name up because didn't get a chance, just got this handed to me, and I didn't get a chance to go over names, so please forgive me if I mess one up. Abigail Melton, McKinley Buchanan, Emma Nelson, Kaylin Brewington, Abby Davis, Addie Taylor, Courtney Minton, Avery Holloway. I like that last name.
Yes.
I wonder if it's a distant relative. Ambrielle Bolker, Mallory Chandler, and Madeline Smith and Ava Young. And we want to thank Martha Sheffield for getting that to us. And Dave, may be the wiser course to take the punt here. Try to hold them on defense because there's 6:27 left in the second quarter. Remember, we're only playing 2 quarters. Dave, I've been impressed so far.
Yeah, I have too. Both the defenses are working, and I'm going to tell you that it's an old adage in football that if they don't score, they can't beat you. So your defense is what you want to get strong. Offense, it's early in the year. Couple of tweaks you got to work out. So, it will come, and the talent's there. But I am very impressed by the Eagles' defense in pursuit.
That's right. We'll try to pick up a couple of more of the Eagles on the field. Now, this time, the Vikings loosened the formation a little bit. And they're going to keep it on the ground, a wide cross buck to 21 for them. I'll have to pick his number. He's broken 2 tackles. Only one man has a chance to catch him, and he could go all the way. And as you've seen, crossing the end line, 70 yards. And we need to give 23 a little credit. And you've seen the unusual roster that we have here. That is D.D. Broyles.
Well, Didi absolutely took the misdirection, and he broke 2 tackles, cut it back to the inside. It was not the greatest of tackling by the Eagles, and once he got in the foot race, it was actually there was no way that Zach Cisco was going to be able to catch him. He gave him a good effort. But,
yeah, Zach hustled. He's faster than his dad. I coach both of his dads. Zach, good effort on that. Now, they'll go for 2 because I don't think the Vikings have an extra point field goal man. They're working on one but don't have one now. Now, again, they've gone to 2 wideouts, David, which they kept one in tight a while ago. The bone, again, is a little offset, but the wishbone, and they give on a straight dive over left tackle, fighting, and he did get the touchdown.
Yeah, and
or the extra point.
The extra point. You've got to get him in and get him – you got to get low on that. That's the biggest thing about that goal line defense is those front linemen have got to just – when he gets to that line, it just needs to be a pile of bodies right there. And everybody kind of stood up, and once you do that, they're going to push you off the ball. 3 yards is all they needed, 2 points.
You're right. And for the Vikings, D.D. Broyle showed me some strength, and he showed me some speed.
He did.
And you can see the replay of that Worthy Road Studio replays here. That's a wonderful thing. And the young man streaking down. And I said D.D. Broyle. That was actually 21. I want to make sure I get my credits right. And finding that on the roster is J.J. Patterson. So we'll give Brother Patterson, J.J. Patterson. who wears 21. And we like to get things straight. But it's a good roster, but the toughest one I've ever had to read, David.
That's it. Well, I don't know if they put it in alphabetical order or they just did it, but no, they didn't put it in alphabetical order. That's just what it is.
But we're going to whip these things. Varsity, I've already got FACS's roster. We know who the people are on the Eagles for the high school. Now coming into the ball game is 61. That's Nash Crow coming in to play defense. And I think some of the young men go both ways. Of course, you've already heard Zach McDonald's going both ways.
Yeah, they had a stoppage of the clock. I saw Marty kill the clock here. I think it was just so Jackson Christian could get the personnel right.
Yeah, coming in on defense, JCS over on defense or offense now.
It's like Zach McDonald at quarterback here.
Yeah, they sure do. And it's a version Wildcat. He runs to the left, gets across the 30, but not much more. And the Vikings were very quick in pursuit, and that looked like Isaiah Crawford.
A very, very slow developing play right there, and nobody kind of sealed off. He tried to get the corner and actually got a step on him, but the cornerbacks and the outside right linebacker was just too much. They closed very quick.
Yeah, closing quick, and we didn't get that downfield block that was so key, and that allowed a man to come in from behind. Coming back on the field is Jack Collins. He plays wide receiver normally. Of course, they can move into the backfield. They can move them to wide out. You'll see some 4 wide out by the Eagles this year, both in middle school and in high school. And this time it looks like we've got a split in with a slot and a man in motion. And they got Mosley, but nobody blocked number 4. And that number 4 is
Mike Jones.
Can't even read my own writing.
Looks like Mike Jones, and I mean he absolutely blew the A gap. He just went right between the center and the guard, and it was untouched, and I almost took the snap before Mosley could get his hands on it.
And if you leave just a little too much space or you don't read it right, in that case you got to block down towards the center in that A gap, don't you, Dave?
Well, yeah, you do. And the other side here is in middle school, you got to start teaching. You got to change the snap count up a little bit here and slow them down a little bit.
3rd and 15, ball on the 25. We're in the second quarter with 2:58 to go. Big down. The Eagles got to get it on this one. They do have 4th. Longer count. A handoff again, and McDonald's going to try the left side. And he's going to get some of that yardage back, but he's still going to be about 10 yards away from a first down.
A good positive play right there. I mean, it was a gain of 7. They've just Jackson Christian has been behind the stakes, and at that point, there's really not a whole lot that you can fool them with because the defense knows that you're dealing with 11, 12, 13, 14 yards for first downs. Yeah,
and they're going to go for it on 4th and 11. The ball is at the Jackson Christian 29, 2:17 to go. Split out to the right is Jack Collins. Full backfield and shooting through the gap and getting, there's that man again. I believe that is Isaiah Crawford again. And he's just listed as an athlete on their roster.
Well, they listed him correct because once again, he actually shot the B gap now. He was between the guard and the tackle. But again, you got to get a pad on that. It's almost as if Humboldt in that situation knew the snap count better than the Eagles did.
1:46 to go. The ball goes over on downs. And, Dave, we have some ladies, and they told me, please explain to them what the A and B gap is.
They
don't
actually,
know.
the A gap is the center is obviously the player who snaps the ball to the quarterback. On each side of him is the A gap. You between him and the guard, because when you sit down, you've got the center in the middle. You've got 2 guards on either side of him and 2 tackles on the side of the guards. A gap is on each side of the center in between the guard, and the B gap is between the guard and the tackle.
And, David, I'm sure we'll have some change because I see some fresh linemen out there for Humboldt. See some young men I haven't called 51 for the Eagles' name. That's Trent Carrier's out there on defense right now. And we'll pick up the others, but we're going back. I think that Humboldt is short a player. They do not, unless they're unbalanced, they do not have
they don't have
a right end. Here's the pitch sweep. Running back looking for a hole, but the Eagles cut off all the lanes, and the young man I just called his name, Trent Carrier, was the first one there, but there was several other Eagles there for a loss.
Well, great job by Carrier. I mean, if you watch him on the replay right here, watch him.
Yeah.
He holds his ground, and he breaks down and doesn't go for the fake, and he causes him to stand still. A host of Eagles come and get him after that. That's a great job by number 51, Trent Carrier.
Yeah, 24, Carson Holt was in on that one, and so was Eli Gay. Now, let's see. It's 2nd and 14, a loss of 4. Actually, they may not get another playoff, David, and this contest may end 8-0. They're not quick enough to the line. This time is going to run out. Let's see if they let them run the play or blow it dead.
That's going to be it. Marty did a great job. You could tell when the white hat starts easing up towards the ball, he's not going to let them run another
And,
play.
folks, ends Humboldt 8, Jackson Christian 0, but both coaches have some things they learned. They saw some positives. They saw some negatives. They'll go back to the drawing board. You also learned why I've got the best color man around, because he's going to give you insights into the game that you won't get. But this one ends Humboldt 8, Jackson Christian Middle 0. We will be back after this game with the varsity game. You're listening and watching 101.5. It's actually WNWS.com. Still used to doing my radio bit, but you are on the internet, and this can be heard anywhere in the world. We'll be back after this timeout.